Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm your host, Dr. Chem, and we are stepping into our virtual, high-tech quantum lab to dive deep into the hidden magnetic world of electrons. We're going to explore electron spin resonance spectroscopy. It's essentially a magical window into the atomic level that reveals the incredible, completely invisible quantum spin dynamics of advanced materials. Our roadmap for this cinematic masterclass will take us progressively through 5 steps. We'll start with the foundational quantum magnetic world, look at splitting spin energy levels, explore the ESR spectrometer itself, learn how to decode the spectrum, and wrap up with some absolutely wild, real-world scientific applications. All right, Section 1, the quantum magnetic world. Let's zoom way down into the microscopic realm. Down here, an electron behaves not just as a charged particle, but exactly like a tiny compass or a microscopic bar magnet. Electron Spin Resonance, or ESR, which you'll also hear called Electron Paramagnetic Resonance, or EPR, is a non-destructive spectroscopic technique. It's our absolute best tool for observing unpaired electrons. These are those lonely, highly reactive electrons that remain totally invisible to more conventional forms of spectroscopy. So, the ultimate scientific mystery we face is this. How exactly can we measure and interpret the behavior of these quantum compasses when we literally can't even see them? To solve that mystery, we move to Section 2, splitting spin energy levels. We have to look at how static magnetic fields force these electron spins into distinct, measurable states. An electron has an intrinsic spin, right? And that spin generates a tiny magnetic moment. When we place our sample into a strong external magnetic field, these tiny quantum compasses are forced to make a choice. They have to align either parallel or anti-parallel to that field. This creates a very specific energy gap, a phenomenon we call the Zeeman effect. Think about it like this. Without a magnetic field, the electron energies are totally identical. They're degenerate, but applying that external magnetic field splits them into 2 distinct spin energy levels, spin up and spin down. And honestly, this gives us the critical energy difference we absolutely need to study them. Now, the really cool part is the resonance condition itself. This equation tells us exactly how much energy is required to flip an electron from the lower energy state to the higher one. By hitting it with microwave radiation that perfectly matches this energy gap, and we're talking about the gigahertz range, very much like your kitchen microwave, we induce a transition between the spin states. That exact match, that is the resonance in electron spin resonance. Moving right along to Section 3, the ESR spectrometer. Let's step back from the theoretical stuff and look at the actual engineering that makes this quantum measurement possible. Since its very first experimental observation by Wise-Avoyski back in 1944, the hardware has evolved dramatically. We've gone from basic continuous wave machines to highly complex extreme high field pulse systems powered by lasers. It's been a massive leap in technology. The core architecture of the machine is fascinating. We place the sample directly into a resonant cavity that sits squarely between the poles of a massive, powerful electromagnet. At the exact same time, a microwave source, like a klystron or a solid-state generator, beams highly precise, constant high-frequency radiation onto the sample, all while a phase-sensitive detector waits patiently to capture the signal. To break down that workflow, Step 1, we blast the sample with constant microwave radiation. Step 2, instead of changing the frequency like you might in other techniques, modern ESR spectrometers smoothly sweep the magnetic field strength. Finally, Step 3, once the electromagnet hits the exact field strength where the energy gap perfectly matches the microwave frequency, the electrons absorb the energy, flip their spins, and bam, the detector records that absorption peak. Which brings us to Section 4, decoding the ESR spectrum. Once the machine records this invisible microwave absorption, how do we translate it into actionable data? Well, what emerges from the detector is a sharp, distinct first derivative spectrum. You're basically looking at a totally unique fingerprint for the precise magnetic environment of that unpaired electron. It kind of looks like a heartbeat, and in a way, it really is the quantum pulse of the molecule. To read this fingerprint, we look at the G factor, which acts somewhat like a chemical shift. But even more importantly, we look for hyperfine interactions. You see, local nuclei near our unpaired electron act as even tinier magnets. They add to or subtract from the main magnetic field, splitting our main signal into multiple distinct lines. This tells us exactly which atoms are physically sitting right next to the unpaired electron. Because of this intense, hyper-localized sensitivity, ESR is the perfect tool for analyzing specific tricky compounds. Whether we're looking at incredibly unstable organic free radicals generated in real time or complex transition metal centers with wildly varying G factors, ESR just cuts right through the noise and zeroes directly in on the unpaired electrons. So let's wrap things up with Section 5, Real-World Scientific Applications. How does this highly specific quantum tool solve macroscopic, real-world problems outside the lab? The applications are just breathtakingly diverse. In biochemistry, we use it to examine the active sites of metal proteins. In physical chemistry, it's vital for studying rapid oxidation and reduction kinetics. But perhaps the most mind-blowing is its use in paleontology. Scientists can actually date ancient human fossils by measuring the concentration of radiation-induced radicals permanently trapped inside fossilized tooth enamel. No way, right? Furthermore, this technology is quite literally building the innovations of tomorrow. By using short, intense bursts of microwaves, known as pulsed EPR, researchers can study the incredible dynamics of paramagnetic species. We're currently using it to probe the interplay of light and electricity in next-generation organic solar cells and to understand decoherence, which is a really critical hurdle in developing the world's very first true quantum computers. And we are constantly pushing the extreme boundaries of this technology. A groundbreaking 2012 study achieved something incredible. They powered a pulsed EPR spectrometer at a massive 240 gigahertz. And they did this not with a standard microwave source, but by using a massive free electron laser. As this quote from the journal Nature highlights, this immense 1 kilowatt laser power allowed researchers to manipulate electron spins through pi/2 in only 6 nanoseconds. To put that into perspective, a standard solid-state source takes about 300 nanoseconds to do the exact same thing. This is a real game changer, completely revolutionizing high-powered pulsed spectroscopy and allowing us to see quantum dynamics faster and clearer than ever before. As we wrap up today's explainer and we imagine those quantum spin dynamics fading back into a clean, measurable spectrum, it leaves us with a thrilling question. If electron spin resonance can map the active sites of life-saving proteins, date the fossils of our ancient ancestors, and unlock the quantum computers of tomorrow, what invisible microscopic mystery will this remarkable window into the quantum world help us unlock next? Thank you so much for exploring the magnetic universe with me today.